Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. In this tutorial series, we are designing this fitness homepage using Next.js. Now in the previous video, we designed this Why Choose Fit Pro Fitness section. Now in this video, we will design the next section, which is this testimonial section over here. So let's get started. So first of all, let's go to our source code, and this is how it looks. Let's go ahead and create a new component. So inside the components folder, let's create a new file called testimonials.tsx. And as always, let's type export default function testimonials. And let's go ahead and return a section. Let's type testimonials over here. Now let's go to our page.tsx file, and let's add the testimonial section right here. So let's type testimonials. Let's import it from components testimonials. Now if you go back to our website, here we can see testimonials is being displayed over here. Now before going ahead with our code of the testimonials component, let's go ahead and add all the details of the testimonials inside the constants file. So here we can see we are adding all these details of the nav items and also the programs. So in the same way, let's go ahead and create a new const called testimonials. Let's set it equal to an array of objects. And let's also export this. So here I'll just type export. So here, first of all, we need to add the name of the person. We need to add the story. And then we also need to add these details and also the image. And then we also need to add the rating. So let's go back and let's type name. Let's set the name to Sarah H. And then we need to add the story. Let's copy this from here and let's paste it over here. We'll just delete these double quotes from here. And then let's add the details. And here let's copy this and paste it over here. And then we need to add the image. So for the image, I already have this image called sarah.jpg in my public folder. So we can just type /sarah.jpg. And then we need to have the rating. So let's type rating. And here she has rated 5. So let's type 5 over here. And the same way, we need to add the details of these 3 different individuals. So I'll just quickly do that and then we'll continue. Alright, so here I have added all these details. We have 3 different testimonials over here. Now let's go to a testimonials.tsx file, and first of all, let's go ahead and get the title and the description from the other section. So let's go to the programs section, and I'll just copy all of this from here till here. So we have the heading and the subheading. Let's copy this and let's paste it over here inside the testimonials. And we need to close this div and also close the section. Now we need to import motion. So let's go ahead and type import asterisk as motion from motion/React client. All right, let's change the heading to success stories. And let's change this paragraph. So let's copy this and let's paste it right here. So now if you go back to our website, this is how it looks. Right now we need to loop through all these testimonial details, and we need to display these cards. So let's go back. Let's go outside this div and let's add a comment. I'll just type testimonials grid, and here let's go ahead and create a div. Now for this div, let's go ahead and add some classes. So let's type class name, display of grid. Grid calls 1 for smaller screens, and for medium, let's type grid calls 3, and let's add a gap of 8. Right now we need to loop through all these testimonials. So let's go ahead and add curly braces. Let's type testimonials and let's import it from lib constants. Let's type dot map, and for each of the testimonial, I'll just call it T, and let's also access the index. And here let's add a parenthesis so that we can directly return something. So here I'll just return a motion.dev. And since this is a map, let's go ahead and add a key over here. So let's type key is t.name because name is unique. Now for the testimonial content, let's go ahead and use a card. So let's type card over here and let's import it from UI card. So this is basically a ShadCN component, and in the card we need to have card content. So let's type card content. Let's import it from UI components. And here first of all we need to have the image. So let's create a motion.dev, and in this we will add the image tag. So let's import image from next image. And this image should have a source. So for the source, let's type T dot image, because in our constants file we can see that we have this image. And then we need to add an alt, so let's type alt equals, and let's set it to t dot name. And let's also set the width and height to fill, so that it will fill the entire width and height of the parent. And here for the container division, let's go ahead and add some classes. So let's type class name relative, margin bottom of 6, height of 30, width of 24, and mx auto to bring it to the center horizontally. And here we can see all these images. Let's also set the object fit to cover so that we have the correct proportions. So here for the image, let's add some classes. So let's type class name rounded full object cover. Let's add a border of 4. Let's set the border color to primary 20 for the opacity. Now if you go back here, we can see this is how it looks. Now when you hover over this, we need to change the border color. So when you hover over the complete card, we need to change the color. So for that, let's go ahead and add a class over here. So for this main outer division, let's go ahead and add a class. Let's type class name, set it to group. And here let's go ahead and type group hover. And when you hover over the group, let's type border color to primary. Let's type transition colors. Let's type duration of 300. And now if you go back and if I hover over this, we can see that the color changes. Now here for the card also, let's add some classes. So here let's type class name. Let's type hover. When you hover over this, let's type shadow of 2xl and transition for the shadow and duration of 300. So now we can see we have the shadow being displayed. Now for the card content, let's go ahead and add some classes. So let's type class name. Let's add a padding of 8 and text center. And after this, we need to add these star ratings. But before that, let's add these other elements because they are simple to do. So let's go outside this motion.dev and let's type motion.block quote. So we're going to use a block quote for displaying the story. So here we can just simply type double quotes, and here let's type t.story. So now if you go back, here we can see that we have the story displayed over here with the double quotes. Let's also add some classes over here. So let's type class name text LG for large text, font semi-bold for the font weight, and let's type font heading for the Oswald font. Let's type text color to foreground, margin bottom of 4. So this is how it looks. Right now let's add a paragraph. So let's go outside this block code. Let's type motion.p, and here we can simply go ahead and type t.details. So here we can see the paragraph is being displayed. Let's also add some classes over here. So let's type class name text color to muted foreground, margin bottom of 4, leading relaxed for the line height. So this is how it looks. And then we also need to add the name of the person. So for that, we're going to use a site. So let's type motion.site, and here let's go ahead and type hyphen t.name. So here we can see the name is being displayed. Let's also add some classes. So let's type class name font bold, text color to primary and italic. So this is how it looks. Right now let's add some basic animations. So here let's go ahead and type initial, and let's set the initial value to opacity 0, and let's type while in view, and here we'll just type opacity of 1. Let's type viewport, and here let's type once true so that the animation is displayed only once. Let's type transition, and let's set it to duration of 0.4. Let's type ease, and let's set it to ease out, and let's type delay, and let's set it to index times 0.2. So now if you go back and if I reload, this is how it looks. Let's add the animation for the other elements as well. So I'll just copy these from here, and let's add it to the paragraph. And here we can see we have the animation. Let's do it for the block quote as well. And for the block quote, we will also add some y value. So here let's type opacity 0 and y of 6, and here opacity 1 and y of 0. So this is how it looks. Let's also copy the same thing for the image. So here let's type initial of opacity 0, and let's also add a scale of 0.9, and here while in view, let's tap scale of 1, and 0.5 for the duration. And let's see how it looks. Let's reload this page. So everything looks all right. Right now, let's add the rating stars. So let's go outside the image div, and here let's create a motion.dev, and at the top over here, let's create a const called max stars. Let's set it to 5. Let's scroll down, and now here what we need to do is we need to type array dot from. So we need to create an array from this max stars over here. So we need to have an array of a length of 5. So let's use this max stars constants from here. So we can simply type length max stars, and then we need to type dot map, and in this map we're going to need the index, but here we can see that the index is on the second position in the arguments list. So for the first one, let's type underscore, and then let's type I for the index. We need to add all of this inside parentheses, and here let's go ahead and create an arrow function. Now here we need to return something, so let's type return, and let's return a star. So let's type star. Let's get it from Lucide React. Now if you go back to our website, here we can see we have these stars being displayed over here. Let's also address this issue of having a unique key for the map. So here for the star, let's type key. Let's set it to I, which is a unique value. And here we'll create a const called field, and let's set it equal to I less than t dot rating. So what this will do is, if the rating is, for example, 4, then when we iterate through this array, and if you go to the 5th item, which is the 5th star, then this field constant will be set to false. Or else, if the index is less than the t rating value, for example, if we have a rating of 4, and when we are mapping through this array, and if we reach the second element, then this field constant will be true. So in this way, we can add different styles for these ratings. So here we can see we have a rating of 4, and for the 5th star, we have a different styling. So we can do that using this field constant. So here, let's go ahead and type class name, and here let's type curly braces. Here just type if we have the field constant set to true, then we'll just go ahead and add this class: width of 5, height of 5, text yellow 300, and let's add an else over here. So we can just type colon, and if it is not true, then we'll just type width of 5, height of 5, text color to neutral 300. Now if you go back, here we can see this is how it looks. Here we have just 4 stars, and we have a different color for the outline. If you go back to our constants, and for example, if I change this value to 2, and if you go back, and here we can see that we have just 2 stars. So everything is working correctly. Let's go back to 5. And now here in the star, let's also add fill, and here also we will add a conditional. So let's type if filled is true, then let's type current color, or else we'll just type none. So it will not have the filled color when the field is false. So if you go back, this is how it looks. We can see that for this one, we don't have the fill color. Right now we can go ahead and style the container of these stars. So here for the motion div, let's add some classes. So let's type class name, display of flex, justify center, margin bottom of 4, gap of 1. And this is how it looks. Let's also copy these values from here for the animation. Let's add it to this motion div. Let's remove the Y from here for the initial and while in view, and everything else is all right. So let's reload this page, and this is how it looks. Now let's go back to the main container division, which is this one right here. Let's add some animations over here. So I'll just paste it. Let's make some changes. Here for the Y, let's type 24, and for the duration, I'll just type 0.6. Let's go back and let's reload this page. So this is how it looks. And when you hover over this, we'll also change the scale. So here let's type while hover. Let's set it to scale 1.03. Now in the while hover, let's also change the delay. So right now, if we hover over this third element, we have the delay that we add over here in the transition. We have it applied for the while hover as well. So here in the while hover, let's type transition, and let's set it to duration 0.3, and let's type delay of 0. Let's go back. So now everything looks all right. So with that, we have completed designing our testimonial section. So let's go ahead and reload this page. Let's scroll down. So everything is working perfectly. Right, so that's basically it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.